Hello, grade 9 students. Our lesson for today is all about representing quadratic function through table of values and graphs. So let's start. Okay, given the quadratic function, y is equal to 2x squared minus 8x plus 9. So how do we uh, create a table of values for this example of quadratic function? So in creating table of values, we assign values of x since x is our independent variable. So I assigned here values of x 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these assigned values can be uh, any number. You can start negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I just assign 0 up to 4. So how do we get the values for y here? So since y is what we call f of x or function of x, so we will use that. We will substitute the values of x from this quadratic function. Your x here, the x squared and x, we will substitute this value. Okay. So for the first one, we assign x as 0. So if x is 0, we find f of 0. So is equal to 2 times 0 squared. So we substituted 0 to your x minus 8 times 0 plus 9. So we follow here PEMDAS. So we start with the exponent. So what is 0 squared? It is still 0. Then copy the rest. 8 times 0 is 0. So minus 0. Then 2 times 0 is 0. So 0 minus 0 is equal to 0 plus 9. So we come up with a value of 9. So that will be our first value of your y. So let's have the second assigned value of x, which is 1. So if x is 1, we will substitute to find f of 1. So what is f of 1? So we have 2 times 1 squared minus 8 times 1 plus 9. So we always use this quadratic function because we need to find the table that will represent this quadratic function. So what is 1 squared? So 1 squared is still 1. And 8 times 1 is still 8. So 2 times 1, it's 2 minus 8 plus 9 is equal to 2 minus 8 is negative 6 plus 9, it's positive 3. So our f of 1 is 3. So we will put that in our second value of y. Then we use the third assigned value of x, which is 2. So if x is 2, what is f of 2? F of 2 is 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 9. So what is 2 squared? It's 4. So you have 2 times 4 there. What is negative 8 times 2? Negative 16. Copy plus 9. So 2 times 4 is positive 8. Minus 16 is negative 8. Plus 9 is positive 1. Okay, so our third value of y is positive 1. Okay, then for the fourth value assigned for x, it's 3. So what is f of 3? F of 3 is 2 times 3 squared minus 8 times 3 plus 9. So what is 3 squared? It's 9. So you have 2 times 9. What is negative 8 times 3? It's negative 24 plus 9. So 2 times 9, 18 minus 24, it's negative 6 plus 9, it's positive 3. So our fourth value for y is positive 3. Okay, then let's have for the fourth assigned value for x, it's x equals 4, for the fifth rather. So if x is equal to 4, find f of 4 is equal to 2 times 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 9. Okay, so f of 4 is equal to 2 times 16, saan nanggaling yung 16? Sa 4 squared. Saan nanggaling tong minus 32? Sa 8 times 4. Copy plus 9. So then, saan nanggaling tong 32 dito? Sa 2 times 16, 32. Then minus 32, 0 na po yan. So ang sagot po ay positive 9. Okay. So this is now our complete table of values that will represent this quadratic function. Now, ito pong table of values nito, ito po ay magre-represent ng 5 points. So, this is our first point, the x comma y. This is your first point. So, a point is composed of the abscissa and the ordinate. So, our abscissa is 0. Our ordinate is 9. So, x comma y po yan. So, ang ating second value, or second point rather, pangalawang point natin ay 1, 3. Pangatlong point, ito, 2, 1. At pang-apat na point, 3, 3. At pang-limang point, 4, 9. Ayan. So, meron tayong 5 points na kung saan pwede na nating i-graph para malaman natin anong graph nitong quadratic function na to. Okay. Out of this table of values. Okay. So, I assigned letters A, B, C, D to represent the 5 points that we have from the table. Okay. So, how do we graph this? So, from this Cartesian plane, this is your x-axis and y-axis. So, to plot point A, we have 0, 9. We start with 0 here because your x is 0. Then, you will go up 9 units because your y is 9. So, up to here. So, our first point is, yan, 0, 9. That's point A. Point B, so from 1, if your x is 1, you start here. Then you go up 3 units, so up to here. Okay, so that's how we put 1, 3. Plot. We plot 2, 1. So from 2, we go 1 unit upward. Okay, so that's how we plot that. So you have 2, 1. Okay, so from 3, you go 3 units upward. So, dito po siya. So, bakit puro upward? Kasi puro positive po yung ating y. Pag negative po yung y natin, bababa po tayo. Okay, so, sa point E na po tayo. From 4, if x is 4, ayan. If x is 4, we go 9 units upward. So, from 4 up to here. Okay. So, this is now how we plot these 5 points. So, from these 5 points, if you're going to connect, ito na po ang mapaform. Yan. So, ano po ito? This is what we call parabola. Okay. Parabola is the graph of quadratic function. So, pakitandaan po na ang parabola ay graph ng quadratic function. Okay. So, mapapansin nyo dyan, it opens upward. Okay, so meron na tayong data. The parabola opens upward. Okay, aside from that, we also know, out of this graph, this one. This is what we call the vertex. So, point C is your vertex because vertex is what we call the turning point of the graph. So, saan ba nag-turn yung graph natin? So, mula dyan, nag-turn siya pa ganun. So, itong point na to ang kanyang turning point. So, vertex po yan. So, ang vertex ay 2, 1. Okay, ano pang malalaman natin out of this graph? Malalaman din natin itong line na to. So, this orange vertical line is what we call axis of symmetry. So, itong axis of symmetry na yan, it divides the graph into 2 equal parts. Ito. Itong part na to, equal dito. So, it divides the graph into 2 equal parts. Okay, so ano ba yung axis of symmetry na yan? Yan po ay line. So, kung line yan, vertical line, So, it is x equals. So, the axis of symmetry is x equals kung anong value ng x nyo doon. Ano bang value ng x nyo? It's 2. So, dito makikita nyo na sa vertex yan. So, ang vertex natin ay 2, 1. So, ang axis of symmetry, itong x nyo dito. So, x is equal to 2. So, ganun lang kadali malaman yung axis of symmetry. Kailangan po equation po siya. So, x is equal to 2. Hindi lang po 2. X equals 2. Kung ano man po yung x, value ng x nyo dito sa vertex. Okay? So, from this given quadratic equation again, without graphing, di ba nag-graph tayo? So, paano kung ayaw nating mag-graph? So, without graphing, how do we know the opening of the parabola? Kasi pag nag-graph tayo, madaling makita, ay upward siya, ay pababa siya. So, paano kung hindi tayo mag-graph? Without graphing. So, kung hindi tayo mag-graph, yan lang ang binigay, yung quadratic function na yan. Ang titingnan lang natin ay yung value nito. Yan. Yung coefficient po ng quadratic term. So, ang tawag dyan ay A. A is equal to 2. Diba may A, B, C tayo? This is A, this is B, this is C. So, your A here is 2. So, since it's positive, it is greater than 0. So, when you have quadratic function in the form of y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, if your A is greater than 0, pag mas malaki sa 0, lahat ng positive yon. So, kung positive, the parabola opens upward. E paano pag negative? Halimbawa, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Less than 0 po yon. So, then the parabola opens downward. Okay. So, that's how we identify or that's how we know whether the parabola opens upward and opens downward given the quadratic function, the equation of the quadratic function without graphing. Okay. Next is this table. Without graphing, how do we know that this table represents quadratic function? Paano natin malalaman na quadratic function to? Igagraph pa natin isa-isa para makita natin, ay, naka-form ng parabola. So, quadratic function yan. So, instead of doing that, without graphing, pwede na nating malaman using different method. So, ang method na yon ay first difference and second difference. So, ano ba yung first difference? So, ang first difference po, ito, right minus left po tayo. So, right 3 minus 9. So, tandaan po muna natin na ang ma-minus natin ay yung values ng y. Yung x po, consecutive po, sunod-sunod. Magkakasunod po na value. Tapos, yung mga values ng y, naka-arrange dyan, right minus left po. So, 3 minus 9. So, binawasan mo ng mas malaki. So, it's negative 6. Okay, 1 minus 3. So, i-change na sa inyo lang to. So, 1 minus 3. So, it is negative 2. Ito naman, 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1, syempre, 2 yun. And then, yung pang-apat, 9 minus 3, it's 6. So, tandaan, right minus left. Isa-isahin nyo lang po yan. So, ang tawag dyan ay the first difference. So, kung first difference nyo ay not equal, therefore, pwede na kayo mag-proceed sa second difference. Pero pag nag-equal to, ibig sabihin, hindi na siya quadratic function pag nag-equal na yan. Okay, since hindi yan equal, proceed tayo sa second difference. Okay, ito na yon. So, negative 2, magiging plus to. So, negative 2 plus 6. So, it's positive 4. Ulitin ko, negative 2 plus 6. Magkaiba na sila ng sign eh. Negative 2 plus 6. So, it's positive 4. Positive 2, dito naman tayo, plus 2. Positive 2 plus 2. So, it is 4. Bakit plus? Kanina minus. Kasi negative yan eh. Change the sign lang natin. Okay? Kanina, positive. So, change the sign. 1 minus. Okay, so dito, negative. So, magiging plus. 2 plus 2. It's 4. 6. Ano mangyari dito? Minus 2. Okay? So, 6 minus 2. It's 4. Okay? So, ang second difference natin are equal. Differences are equal. Therefore, the table represents quadratic function. Okay? So, yan. Yan na po ang ating lesson for today. So, alam na natin ngayon, kahit walang graphing, although nag-graph tayo, kahit walang graphing, pwede natin malaman yung opening of the parabola. Pwede rin natin malaman na ang table ay isang quadratic function using the first and second differences. Okay. So, kapag may tanong po kayo dyan, magtanong lang kayo sa akin sa group chat natin sa Messenger. Pwede rin kayo magtanong sa comment section sa Google Classroom. You can also watch this video ng paulit-ulit para mas maintindihan nyo siya. At kung may na-miss kayong concept, balik-balikan nyo lang. Ulit-ulitin nyo lang panoorin. Okay, so yon. So that's all. I hope you learned something new.